So at this point in the return, what we're going to be talking about is the submission screen. This is the final page prior to the return being actually transmitted to the IRS. Now, depending on your login permission set, you may or may not have access to some of the buttons, but that's neither here nor there. It's not important. It's just based on your office process. It is what it is. Okay. So when you go to print, you may have custom print sets that have been created for you. You'll be instructed to print those in your office when everything's complete. What is important is the signing capability. It is always important to get your taxpayer to sign their return. So you would review with them all of the fees associated with the return, what it is that they're signing, the fact that they've selected a bank product, that should be clear already, and that they're going to be signing those forms here. So they would then go ahead and click on the screen. They can use your mouse, they could use the Topaz signature pad, they could use a touchscreen enabled device, what have you. This is my Picasso, Van Gogh. It's been likened to many famous artists' signatures. Just kidding. You go ahead and click save there, and now everything that gets printed out of the software will have that there. Now, if you had a taxpayer and a spouse, it would ask you to get the primary spouse's signature or the primary filer's signature and then get the spouse's subsequently. Now, anything that you print out of the system will now have that uh, taxpayer's um, information on it. So we're going to click print return. Had to drag it over from another screen. There's the information, and you can see they're real small just because it's not blown up, and it's going to go all over the place if I do that. You can see the taxpayer's signature right in there. Okay, everything's good. Okay, if you would like to then email a copy of the return to the taxpayer, you just click email return right there. It'll pull in the email information that you've already input in the e-file selection page or return disbursement page, um, and it would pull that in there and allow you to send it. It will encrypt the return using the last four of their taxpayer's social security number as the encryption key. So it will email it to them as a zip file attachment. They'll have to just click on it, open it up, and when they go to read or open the PDF file, it will ask him for that code. So it would be the last four of whatever the social is for the primary filer. Now, if you have the ability to mark a return complete, marking a return complete is like saying this thing's ready to go. So depending on the process within your office, and again, your security permissions, you may or may not have the ability to mark a return complete. You have your preparation fee charges. You have your additional fee charges. This would vary from office to office, so don't pay attention necessarily to these. And you have the taxpayer's net check amount. You would then have the ability to capture a referral. Now this could be anything you want in here. If the referrer option doesn't already exist within your drop-down list for your office, you would then type in a new referrer method. Found us in the newspaper, Facebook, somebody shared our office, whatever. So there are reports tagged to this referral, just as an FYI. Return tags, we've discussed them in previous videos. You have the option to tag a return based on whatever is already in this menu here. These can be used for a variety of options. If you do forget, you can tag a return within the client list. It's obviously easier just to do it all here while you're here and knock it out. You also have a built-in, and there is a video specifically talking about the review, the retransmit statuses. Marking a return ready for review puts this return into a special queue for whoever has review capabilities within your office. You're basically saying, come and check my work, approve it or fail it. If it's approved, it will go into the transmission queue for whoever does the transmitting within your office. If it's failed, it'll get sent back to you and they'll say, hey, this copy of this ID is too blurry for us to accept, or what have you. Okay, so you mark that return for review. You could say that it was a training return with this, which this is, and whoever logs in after you, who either has e-file capabilities, That's what this button's for. Save and transmit return. That's sending it to the IRS. Save and exit return. That's what I'm going to do because I don't feel like sending a bunch of junk data to the IRS and getting a bunch of rejects in my system. But that's neither here nor there. So I'm going to click save and exit. And that is a review of the e-file submission page. Again, select what it is you're printing, email the return. It'll pull a copy of the full complete tax return into the email. Capturing your taxpayer's signature, I would do that probably before I do anything else, is grab a copy of the return or the taxpayer's signature so that all the documents print. Obviously review all those documents so that your taxpayer has a thorough understanding of what it is that they are going to sign prior to signing. You're then going to mark a return complete if you have the capability to do so. You will then select a refer if that's part of your process. Tag a return if that's part of your process, or you just want to have another way of locating a client and tracking something. If you're submitting returns ready for review for a quality assurance, if that's part of your workflow, go ahead and click ready for review. Again, just giving you all of the options, not saying that any one is correct for you or not correct, but just presenting to you some of the options. Mark that return ready for review, and then you would then save and exit that return and allow the reviewer to do their job. So hopefully the submission screen, we've covered it in detail. You understand all of the options that are available to you, and we have an awesome tax season. Thanks so much.